Okay ladies, so busy working on page 4 and 5, and I've already done a little trial run to make sure it would work. So for page 4 and 5 we have exactly the same, exactly the same pieces cut. I've taken these little fussy cut, what do you call them, frames, and I have matted them, left the little white border, and I've matted them onto some peacock. If you don't like the blue, you don't have to use it. I just wanted to bring in something different, and there is peacock in this album. So I've matted all these little frames already onto the blue. We're just going to pop those to the side because we're not doing that just yet. Okay. But I do have, and I've got all the measurements written down, I've got 2 pieces of black cardstock cut to 5 3/4 by 7 3/4. I've got 2 pieces of peacock cut to 6 by 8, and we are going to score those. So I've got one sort of attached, because what we want to do is we want to be able to make it so that it flaps in to form part of our page. So it's there, then the photo actually flaps in. If you want to, you won't be able to fold it in, but you would be able to have something inside it because otherwise the flap would do that. Okay, so you could still put photos and journaling inside. I'm not going to do that for now. I'm just going to show you how to do this part. Okay, so let's put this to the side. When you make these, you're going to make them exactly the same, but you're just going to flip the right hand side around. Instead of having extra score lines and making it difficult and whatever, we're just going to flip the scores. So the black is staying flat. We're not doing anything with the black, but we are going to score the blue one. And the peacock we're going to score at 2 3/8. So there's your 2-inch line. You're counting 1, 2, 3, and you're going to score at 2 3/8. I think my score is dying. It's getting a bit thick on the end. I suppose it is old enough, so like really old. And I'm just going to fold it and reinforce the fold. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick the black down, but the black is only going to be stuck as far as the score line. Okay, so we're just going to, let's use tape in case you make a mistake. I did do that practice run. So we're going to do black. So there's my score line. I'm just going to put 3 pieces of tape like so. If you're nervous about using a piece of open tape, you can just put some wet glue on it. Right, and we're going to position this one. I nearly made a mistake there, didn't I? We're going to position this one so we've got the same distance all the way around. Okay. We can stick this one down so long. Remember, we've already taken the tape off there, and I'm just going to put my hand in and pull that one out. Okay, so the black is stuck just on that side, and that's it. Now we're going to come in and we are going to stick down this, so the back, now we're turning it over and we're sticking this piece onto the red. So these I've done, but I've only just put like the bare minimum of tape to see whether it would work. And again, I'm just going to stick with tape, because even though I've done it, I don't know if I want to trust my abilities at the moment. Okay, so we are going to stick this one in line with the edge, so where the score line is going to be in line with the edge here. take the center out, take that one to the middle, take this one to the outside. Okay, so we're lining it up on the score line, and I'm kind of lining it up with that 1, 2, 3, so I should be about right there. Okay, so that should be stuck pretty well. And now when we open, the page moves inwards, so it then works with the entire, it works that way. So you can put this little black piece, and I'll tell you why I put the black pieces, so that when we put pages down behind, it kind of hides what's there, so you don't see bits and pieces of the paper sticking out, if that makes sense. Okay. So what I'm going to do quickly with this one is I'm just going to lift. Like I said to you, it's got the absolute bare minimum of glue. It hasn't got glue actually, it's got double-sided tape. So we're going to stick that. And it doesn't get stuck on this side, but my glue, my tape, it's like literally the tiniest piece. So I'm just going to stick it as far as the, I put a little strip of glue there. Okay, so that's stuck. Then I need to just lift. See what I mean by a little teeny piece of glue. Alright, and we're going to line this one up with that side. Okay, so popping it over. We've got both sides done now. Okay, so your option comes in whether you want to use this piece, and also do you want to use it fully. The only thing that I found was when I was folding it, because it is as long as it was, maybe it's because I haven't stuck it down. Let's just try sticking it down, and you can get an option and you can see which option you like. Okay, so I'd use like the tiniest pieces of tape just to stick down, because I wasn't 100% sure if it would work or not. Okay, let's see what happens now that it's stuck. We land up with that, or if you don't want to use that piece, okay, you would land up with the stars. And I'm thinking I might actually prefer it without the black. So right, let's take that away for now. I'm going to open this. Right, so I'm opening it fully, and the more I look at it, the more I think I don't like this. And I have stuck it just with tape, so I could easily take it undone. And then I've got my other pieces. Where did I put them? I've just got my other pieces here. Oh, there they are. And so I've got this and this. This is the offcut from page 8 and 9. It was a 3 1/4 by 11 7/8 offcut, so I'm actually going to use this. And I'd also done the peacock to mat it on the peacock. Okay, so I'd already taped this like a good girl. I found this album quite difficult to do because I don't have the extra paper pack. So I'm going to So I've had to use an awful lot of cardstock, and I'm sure once we embellish it will start looking great. Okay, there's that one. We're just going to cut just picking up this small cutting that little end off. And we are going to pop this in here. So again, I should tape this as well. So if you decide you like this piece, remember this is the offcut from the piece. This is the offcut from the piece, the extra piece that I used, this one. I still don't know if I love it. I think I would have loved it more if it had maybe if it was shorter. So I'm not actually going to work with it. I'm going to put this aside for now, and I'm going to just work with this. So if you want a measurement, we're looking at about just slightly more than a ruler width. And if you know me, you know that I like uniformity. So it's about a ruler and a bit. So it's going to go somewhere around about there. I've got it quite straight. Okay. So those are the two pieces that I've stuck in. As I said, I'm going to leave this piece for now. And then these, what I thought would happen is these would come in along here. I also think it needs a few more, so I haven't even come close to sticking them in, because I was thinking that it needs something extra. There's the fold. Just remember that you've got a fold there. We've also got these pieces on the side, so if we don't, this will also come in like so. There's so many opportunities on this page, but this is the base of this page then complete. I will come back and fiddle some more with how this is going to finish working out. So yeah, let's close it. Let's close it up. I honestly think I prefer this side to this side, so I think a little bit of glue undo is going to be coming into play, and that black is going to come off. I might use it in a different manner, but yeah, we've got it so that you can either open the page like so fully, or you can take it across and you've got an extra photo added in there. Right, let's turn on to page 6. So this is page 6 over here, and I have all my crib notes written next to me. And we're going to start off just by opening this. And what I thought of doing is, my rust is definitely not 8 by 11.5. So this is a 6 by 6 piece of rust, and this is 6 by 8 black. And I thought that this would be quite nice using an offset. Okay, so let's just get this out the way and stick it down. Here is the rust, and there is my tape that is now finished. Let's get another one. Oh, a little bit close there. Okay, so my black is going down first. And the rust is coming in. And I generally like my photo mat to be straight, so I might have the offset at the back, but I like the photo mat to be straight. Okay, so that's nice and easy. Next, I'm coming in with a piece of black cardstock that I've cut to 8 inches by 11.5, so it's just a little bit shorter. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to use some red tape. And the way I do this, we're going to kind of make it look like a big page mat, and with our pencil you're just going to put a little mark and a little mark there. Okay, so going to create just a spot for me to, because it's plain black, it doesn't matter kind of which side I measure from. But if you were using second paper pack and you were adding a pattern to this, oh yeah, it would matter a lot. So I've chosen to use the red tape, not just because it was out. I do have the brown one, but it's a stronger tape. So you could also use glue. Okay, we're going to come in here. Sort of center it. Like, I hate this tape. This red stuff sticks to you like, who wants to even know? Okay, so we now have created a little pocket here that we can put stuff into. We're going to use this offcut from page 7. It is PP00607. So we're going to use this little offcut. And before we stick it down, we are going to, I have that as well, but I honestly think the wood grain just works with this other side. be lazy and use my glue. And again, you're just going to eyeball it and stick it in the middle. Okay, hope that's straight. Then what I've done is I've cut a whole lot of rust squares. These are, I'm trying to remember the size, 3.5 by 3.5. Yeah, 3.5 by 3.5. And what I thought I would do is I would use them to mat these frames and pop them down. I'm not 100% sure if I love the idea. I have fussy cut the frames further. I don't know whether they need another color to pop them. I think it's just because you've got this in the middle and it's quite off-putting. So let's take one of my little notes. Okay, so if you pop that there, it's just like giving a little mat around it, and then I don't mind it. So as the jury is out on this exact piece for now, I am just going to pop this to the side with page 6 written on and leave it there for now. Alrighty, next up we have page 7, and page 7 I have cut some rust mats and some black mats, and for this one I'm going to do something a little bit different from normal, which also, once I've seen how this works, we can then come back. So I have some 6x4s in rust, and I think the black is an 1/8 of an inch bigger. And what we're just going to do, we're going to stick, so we're sticking it slightly differently. Okay, so I've got a black mat to the outside. Then this one, I'm not too sure what I did there. Clearly stuck it down just to see if it would work. Okay, so I'm going to stick one there, I'm going to stick one there. If you can see, I have matted only one side, two sides, one short and one long. Just going to give it a slightly different effect, and I'm going to do the same with these. Just want to make sure I'm doing it correctly. I had wanted to do it that way, but it's not going to work that way, so let's stick with it this way. The matte would stick out, the black would stick out now. Okay, so I thought of doing like a bit of an offset, so we can either do it there or we can keep it in line and keep it in line, but I did kind of like this idea and have something in the middle that joins them. So that is how I'm going to do it. And just on these, I stuck them with good old cheap super glue, and they seem to have stuck, so I'm very happy about that. prepped and ready to go. So I'm going to position this one so that I can get this one's position correct. Whoops, that was close. And I want to try and get an equal distance. Line this little guy up. And that little guy. And there is your page 7. So now I'm thinking, if we come in with these, it maybe starts making sense. So let's leave it. We'll keep them like that for now. We might want to come in with just something simpler than these and use these somewhere else. Okay, so that's page 6 and 7. Let's go on to page 8 and 9. And for page 8 and 9, I decided to bring in more of the peacock. There's not a lot of peacock on here. There's just like hints of it around the page. There's this peacocky blue around the page. But what I thought it would be nice is to just break the black and the earthy sort of tones. So again, I've played with the different arrangements. And I have cut 4 peacock and 4 black cardstock to 4 inches. I've already prepared one set, so we're just going to pop the peacock on, and we're going to score at 5 3/4 and 6 1/4, and we're going to do it on all 8 pieces. So I've already done 5 3/4, 6 1/4, okay, let's put this down. Okie dokie. So what we're going to do is we're going to line up all our pieces, and we're going to put a piece of tape. I haven't taped these, and one of these you'll see I made a mess. This one somehow got the score line wrong, but I'm not changing it. And also my big guillotine, I think it needs a sharpen. I've never had issues like that. But you know what, at the end of the day, I can cut a teeny piece off if I really need to, or maybe just give it a little sand down. Okay, so I'm going to come in with a 1/2 inch tape, and I'm going to pop a 1/2 inch tape in that 1/2 inch score line on all of them. If that really bothers you, which normally it would bother me, that there's not a clean edge, you could put them back in and reduce the size of your reduce the size to like just under 4 inches, so you get a clean cut. I think my guillotine is tired. It needs a good old, it's a heavy duty one, it needs a good old sharpen. And yeah, it feels quite weird just using one paper pack on such a massive album. I don't know if I'd do it again. I would rather reduce pages than have to not have any pattern paper to work with. Okay, so what I thought of doing is popping in a page like so, and a page like so, so that when you open them, I got it right. So when you have it open, you land up with a little blue sticking out and a little black sticking out. So something like that. So let's just position the black. We've got 8 of them. Okay, so let's start off first with the blacks. Get those stuck down. Making my eyes skew. Okay, I think I've got that more or less right. Now we're going to come in with the blue. You're going to line the blue up with the black. Okay, so it lands up being like that, or like so. Don't think I've quite got it level. And with that, it gives you the option to put heaps of photos. I'm actually not going to fold this. Just push it underneath, line it up. think this one could be a little bit off. It's quite hard to see these with these lines that are a little bit crooked. You know, with the lines going crooked. You know what I mean? I'll try and get this off before I stuck it down properly. Turn it a little bit. These dogs are annoying me. I think that's better. And now we're going to come in with the blue. Oh, this is the one I made the ups on. But by the time you put a photo mat, a little bit more difficult than I thought to stick them down. Right, so now we'll embellish them and we'll make it look pretty. And we've got like loads of space for photos. So that is page 9 and 10. Next we're going on to page 10 and 11. We are going to add in some little bits, as well as using up all, well not all our offcuts, but heaps of offcuts. So what I did was I went to and I had a look at my offcuts and what was available, and I found a red, and I think I may have cut the rust, and a peacock, and a black, so all the colors that we've used. And then I had a look and these were all like offcuts, bits and pieces. So I've got 2 sets of those that we can just tuck in here and turn into some sort of photo tags at a later stage, because we've got those 2 pockets. And what I thought I'd do with this was that I would add a little bit of the peacock. It's like the whole neighborhood has now come out to bark. So what I thought I'd do is just add a bit of the peacock to the side. We've got 2 pieces cut exactly the same. I'm just going to pause the video so you don't have to hear the dogs barking at something walking up or down the street. Okay, so we've got the blue, the peacock on both sides. Looks like the dogs are going to annoy us. And I'm going to put one on this side. Also up and in a little bit. Going to come in with a bit of orange of the rust. And here comes my neighbor with his loud car. So his dog will stop barking, which means my dogs will stop barking, which is groovy, baby. And as you know, I like symmetry. Remember, this is cuts, so this side is going to be a little bit, maybe needs to be trimmed a little bit, but it will all depend on where you've cut your piece. If you've cut it the same as me, we might need to trim this left hand side down. You can either cut it down or you can just stick it so that it has a little piece sticking out. The only thing that worries me with that is that it might get damaged. So I'm going to leave it for now. So I'm cutting the tape short. Then these, as you go along, you're just going to turn into page mats. So you've got a lot of tucks, space to tuck. You can also obviously take one of these and use them as a photo mat on the page. We're heading into the final stretch, and this one I need space on my desk for. So I've cut a piece of rouge at 6 by 9, and then a piece of rust at 6 1/4 by 9 1/4, and a piece of black at 6 1/2 by 9 1/2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be creating a pocket out of the top one. So onto my desk, I'm going to pop I said 6 by 9. This piece was 5 7/8 by 9. Honestly, it's not going to make a huge difference. So all I'm going to do is measure in 1 inch, measure in an inch without moving it. Okay, so this one's going to be in, and I'm just eyeballing it, an inch. Then I'm going to measure down 3 inches. 3 inches. Okay, and I'm going to measure at, let's see, from the top we're going to measure down 3 inches. We're going to measure 4 1/2 and 6. So same on this side, 3 inches, 4 1/2 and 6. So let's see how well, let's just move this so it's like under my nose. Oh gosh, so annoying having these dogs bark. So 3 inches, oh my measurements are off. These 3 inches. 4 1/2 and 6. Okay, now got to think what I've done with my big shot. I'm gonna punch a hole, and a hole. If you don't have a big shot, you can just cut 2 slits. So you're going to cut a slit just below the line. So I normally do the just belows because I like to work on this side. We won't use the big shot, we'll just do it this way. And we're going to stop on that 1 inch line. Okay, so I'm just below. Okay, so there's my line. I've cut like just below, and I've stopped on that line. Now I turn it around because I find it easier, and I'm going to literally cut the same distance on the other side of the line. Okay, so I've got these 3 things, which is where the line is. Right, once I've done that, I'm just going to go on the line and cut. Okay, so I've created 1, 2, 3 lines. Now we need to stick it. So we're going to stick tape, and I generally cut an extra little bit, or I put a bit of tape or a bit of cardstock over the edge there. So let's just find a little piece of red lurking. This piece of red is, we're going to cut to, I think it's 1/2 inch. Okay, we're just going to cut that little leftover piece of red, and we are going to stick that red. This one's a bit crooked. We're going to stick that piece of red. We're sticking it on the bottom section. Maybe you should have cut this one too. Okay, so we're working on the back section. We're going to stick a piece there, and we're going to stick a piece there, and all that's going to do is it's going to stop it from tearing. Right, next up we are going to put tape along the bottom, and we're going to put tape along the top. And remember, at this stage now, we should have 3 inches from the top and 3 inches from the bottom, so it doesn't matter which way we stick it. But all I want you to do is now choose which is going to be your top and bottom, and you're going to put 1 extra piece at the top, like so. And then you're going to put an extra piece there over the first hole, and there over the second hole. Okay, so what this is going to do, this is going to be stuck down. This is going to allow you to just put something to there, so in line with that, so it's just a small tuck spot. This one's going to allow you to put something just to there. If you wanted to, you could have used a thinner tape on these two. It would have given you 1/2 inch. And then this one's going to allow you to put something all the way down. We are now going to add it to our piece of rouge, sorry, our piece of rust. And if you're not sure what you're doing, I'll show you an easy way to do it. Take the stress out of it. You're creating these little zips. Okay, we're going to position it on here so that we've got a nice little mat, even mat all the way around. Once you've done that, you're going to remove the piece of tape that you're removing. Remember, you're going to remove it on the side where you've got all the zips. Now normally if I was doing this with a piece of pattern paper, I probably would have put the pattern paper on first and cut through. Okay, so we've got top and bottom. We can now pop this onto here. Let's just glue it. Oh, glue's been sitting open for too long. Like a child's work of art, that a little bit of abstract. We are going to pop this down. When I look at this, I've got sort of an even border all the way around, but this side is quite big. I'm just going to trim it. Okay, so this is going to come in. Just make sure when you stick it down that you stick it the right way so you can still tuck your bits in. We need an extra strip, but one final check. And I'm going to stick it down a little bit. Actually, no. I'm going to stick it slightly to the side. And this will make space for little things to be tucked. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there for now. And we are going to head on to our back page. So let's just pop that there in front of me. And we are going to be working with, again, with cardstock because we don't have any pattern paper left. I have got a piece of rouge that I've cut to 8 by 5. And I'm hoping like crazy that I got my maths right, because we're going to turn this into a pocket, a decent sized pocket. So we're going to score at 1/2 inch and 7.5 on the 8-inch side, and we're going to score at 4.5 inches on the 5-inch side. Then with the right side up, we are going to tape. In this 1/2-inch section created by the score line, we're going to miter. And if you're not sure with your mitering, you can use your mitering jig to miter through the intersection. And we are going to fold perfectly knotted corners. Let's see if my maths was working. Yes, it was. So we are going to stick this. Let's bring it up so you can see. I'm going to mat it onto the rust so it follows the pattern of the other side. And then I just want to get my we are going to stick this onto black. So if you wanted to make multiple pockets, you could also make these into simple pockets, what I call a simple pocket, and just stick around 3 edges. And then my suggestion to you, depending on how many photo spaces you still need, you would then turn your leftovers into tags that you can pop into the pockets. Okay, let's pop that to the side. Let's bring this down. And this is a beast of an album. I don't know if I want to be restricted to one paper pack again. I've used one paper pack plus 1 page. And I don't know if I would do that again. I would rather have the benefits of having, okay, so it's up. Make sure your page is Alright, and that's your base album pretty much complete, excepting for those extra photo mats that we need to do or to add. And while we're onto it, this is pretty much what I've got left. So I've got a big sheet of black, I've got these bits, these, oh, the white is just from where I've shown you. So you don't need the white. The white is not necessarily, the white is just to show you where the photos go so that you don't get confused with the color. Okay, and so that's what I've got left. And I'm going to tell you exactly how many sheets of cardstock we have used so far. To get to this point, we have used rouge, we have used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've used 5 pieces of rouge. Five pieces of peacock. 5 pieces of rust. And 9 pieces of black, and that's kind of what I have got left. Okay, and of the pattern paper with the extra sheets, I've got that, and then all the strips which I'm going to use for decorating and for embellishments and stuff. So that's it. So just a quick block. I'm going to add some ribbon. I see this is turning, so I'm going to add some ribbon there. I've got space for 3 photos on the front. That's where I've used the white. Opening up, it looks quite bare at the moment, doesn't it? And that's where I used that extra black. So you could use just normal black, which means you would use the whole pack of 10 cardstock. So I've got space for 1, 2, 3 photos there. Opening up, I've got space 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I've got this, which you can easily put a whole lot more, and in these little round dudes. I don't know how that got squished so badly. Okay, then I've got 2 here. Alright, and over here we got space to put like a little embellishment, if I can get it in. Oh, it was in. Oh my goodness. There, like so. So you could add little bits and pieces in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. On this page we've got the 2 big ones, and then we can open in and we're going to have either the small ones or something along there, not too sure yet. Onto this page we could have these 6 little guys fit in quite comfortably, and then if we open to here we've got space as well for photos here. So I still need to add probably another rust on this page. Another big page photo there, I think that's 6 by 6, space for 4. Then we've got space for 2, 4, 6, 8. 4's a 32, that's weird. 32 photos on this page. Onto this one we've also got a whole heap of photos. You don't want to go too big though, just remember that you don't want to tear it, but you've got the 2 small ones on the side. This one we've got space for tuck spots. You could have gone a little bit wider if you wanted to add a bit more, then remember you must add that piece of that strip. And then we've got a big pocket on the back where you can add more hooters. So yeah, that's the making of the album. Now to embellish, to add the photo mats, the extra photo mats that we need to, and to have a little bit of fun.